Glad you could join us. Now, the Ghana Education Service is asking the more than 200,000 qualified candidates who have still not been able to secure placement in any senior high school to take advantage of the deadline extension announced on Sunday. The deadline for candidates to check their results and placement online expired on Saturday. But the Director General of the GES, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwa, says it is extending the cutoff date following reports that many candidates have still not been able to access their results and placement.
Some students were not placed because they couldn't get placement in any of the 4 options that they chose. And for those students, we indicated that there are still spaces in schools that we want them to go ahead and self-select schools. And at the time that we issued a statement, we gave 48 hours. I realized that the 48 hours coincided with the long holiday and weekend that we had. And the report that we're receiving is that some do not still have the scratch card. What we're saying now is that Monday, Tuesday, they can purchase the scratch card and then go ahead to do the self-placement. In the past, for students of that kind or candidates of that kind, we used our own discretion to place them in schools, and we had challenges. There were complaints that they have been placed in schools that they did not select. So this time around, we want people to do their own self-placement, and we want them to do it online. So what we're saying is that yes, the 48 hours elapsed over the weekend, and they still have the opportunity to continue to do the placement. Our idea is that everybody who passed should have the opportunity to go to school.
And still on education, government has reserved 30% of enrollment into elite public senior high schools for students from deprived areas in the country. Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, told the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education in Koforidua that the initiative was to ensure fairness and equity as government rolls out its flagship free senior high school policy.
Kids are suffering. You know, I understand how it is to be poor. Once upon a time, I was a poor son of a cocoa farmer. And I know how difficult it is for children from rural areas and poor communities in urban areas to access secondary education. So it is our hope that nobody will put any impediment in the way of anyone. And as we said during the meeting, 30% of enrollment in elite schools in this country has been reserved for those from public schools who are more likely to be poor.
Education Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh also hinted that procurement of learning materials for the free SHS will not be entirely centralized.
And all elements of the school fee bill has been picked by central government. Everything on the bill is being sent to school apart from 6 things that we wanted to achieve economies of scale. That is exercise books, notebooks, technical drawing equipment, PE kits, textbooks, and literature books as per the WAEC standard. These are the only 6 things that we are procuring centrally. For those literature books, the core books, they are already been distributed. We hope that they distribute before school reopening. Every school gets its quota. If there are shortfalls, we will top up. The books are for 3 years. First year, second year, third year, going to the first year. The literature books, we are engaging the publishers to be able to send the quantities that are recommended. The supplementary readers, we are going to create a library in the schools for the supplementary readers. One supplementary reader to a child isn't good enough to help the child read. So we are buying 22 books, about 10 to 20 of each, to create a school library of supplementary readers, so that the kids in the school can borrow the books and read. Food, which has become an issue for headmasters. Food is contracts are going to be signed by the schools and the suppliers. What we have said is to guarantee prices and quality. The National Buffer Stock Company is registering all bulk food suppliers, both private and public. so that if you are not on the list of the national buffer stock, then you can't engage the services in the public school. It is not that buffer stock is going to supply the food. You go through the list and engage the contractors and choose the schools that are going to choose them.
Now, still with issues concerning the BECE, many candidates have to make a trip to the internet cafe to check their results and placements, but the network can be unreliable sometimes, compelling them to go back and return later. So it is fair to say that prospective students who were not placed in any of the 4 schools of their choice may miss the opportunity to choose other schools where there are available slots because the internet failed them as the most critical point. Joy News' Patricia Gasu visited one such cafe where many disappointed candidates had to make several trips to finally get their placement process completed online.
Since yesterday, or when did you start this whole process?
Yeah, we started, I think, Friday.
On Friday. So have you encountered any challenge?
Yes, please.
Can you tell me some of them?
Yeah, most of them is that most students don't get their schools. Okay. They are either asked to select their schools from Friday to Tuesday or so. Okay. That's those who are from 06 and to 30, that's 30 and below. Okay. And those from 31 and above are supposed to select theirs from, I think, Tuesday to Friday or so. Whenever I'm opening any web browser or web page, it just shows up. But with theirs, it's very slow.
That's checking for the placement is very slow.
Yes. Okay. So I think they should also do something about it.
Okay. So how many people came here yesterday? And okay, since Friday, how many people have been here?
Maybe roughly 50 and above.
50 and above. So approximately like 60 people?
Yes, please. Okay. And most of them had to wait. They should have. They came today. We told them to go because the link was very slow. So some of them came today to check for theirs. Okay,
so how many people did you attend to on Friday?
On Friday, I can roughly say maybe 20, because that was the day the schools came in, which was released, yes. So most people didn't know about it. So those who knew, they came the other day, that's Saturday and today, to check for theirs, and I think it will continue.